Hey, and welcome to Map 1 of The Birth, Duke Nukem 3D's 4th episode. This is It's Impossible. And the first thing we're going to do is destroy these cannons here. There's a third one up at the top there in the level's first secret. And you can see we're trying to infiltrate this base here. So, we need to be really careful because those lightning strikes can be pretty nasty if they actually hit you. And yes, they can hit you if you're stood in the wrong spot. So do pay attention to that. There is a handprint on the wall there that opens up this secret cave here. There's not much else going on in this cave apart from the atomic health, but we're definitely not going to complain about that. As we head inside the base here, there are some enemies as we open up the first door here. We want to make sure we stay on top of that because there are quite a few enemies on this level. There was a crack in that middle pillar there, and you can see it's revealed a bunch of med packs to us. So in case you haven't realised, this entire level is one huge homage to Mission Impossible, and it's really cool. Like, there's a lot of fun little details in this level, like the IMF logos there. You've got all the different secret agent stuff going on in this level. There is a shotgun in this room, which is why I've chosen to come this way first. There's also a secret armor in this locker here. You can see there's a lectern here and a shotgun behind the counter there, which is very nice indeed. So you can see our mission is to destroy. And you can also see that room there. That is probably the biggest kind of homage to the original Mission Impossible film. We can't open this door yet, but I'm making you aware that you can go through there eventually. And as we make our way through the base here, you'll see there's a bunch of enemies sort of dotted around. Oh, there we go. I remembered the sequence, I just kind of pressed it wrong there. So this is supposed to be like a mess hall. We're going to just use the pipe bombs here to clear out most of the enemies without really having to use the shotgun ammo. You can see nice big space here, lots of detail. There was more, but I kind of blew it up with the pipe bombs. So this is the kitchen area. And inside here there's a bunch of octobrains who we're going to take care of. Don't know what they were doing in the freezer, but whatever they do in private is their business. So there's a handprint on the wall there, and it opens up this secret passage here through to the shrink ray. And if we jump into the water here, you will find that there's actually a second sink on the other side, which actually takes us back to the kitchen. So everything in this level wraps around really nicely. So if we open this door here, it's actually the barracks. It's where all the soldiers would sleep. And there's a whole bunch of enemies in here, so you've got to be really careful when you open that door. Taking care of all these guys. There's a lot of ammo in here as well, so it's worth popping your head in here to grab all that. I also love the Roger Moore nod there and the weather report here, if you're actually paying attention to the weather report, that is. But there's actually a secret over here behind this bed. So if you jump inside here, you get some Devastator ammo and a jetpack, which will be very useful towards the end of the level, and I'll show you how when we get there. There's also a vent here, which will take us into the toilets over here. Now, you could just walk through the normal way to get into the toilets, and it's probably a lot easier to do that because, as you can see, we're waking everything up. It's not particularly bright in here. There is actually a light switch over here that makes this room a lot easier to see in. There you go. Grab the chain gun there. The blue key is in the corner, which is fine. There's also a secret when you hit that switch over here. You want to grab the portable med kit, it will be useful. There's also a second vent here that takes you out here. So this is into that freezer where the octobrains were earlier on. So as we head up this way, you can see that we're heading into a sort of office area here. Take care of all these enemies here. I do like how there's sort of a logic to the progression here. So you're going from the entranceway into the barracks, into the office here. And in a minute you'll sort of see that get elevated even further. But first let's get rid of you. So you can see the pictures of what I assume are presidents of the US dotted around that office. You can see this is the door I said earlier on that couldn't open. Well, now we can open it. We can't really do much in this room except kind of wander around, but we do want to grab that red key card. There is a secret when you hit that computer there. It's an RPG. Very useful this will be as we move through the level. So we're coming through to what is probably the most iconic part of this level, and for good reason. It's actually good fun what we're about to get up to. But you can see that this level's really well designed in the sense that everything kind of loops back on itself, so you never really kind of end up wandering too far away from the beaten path, because all the rooms are kind of interlocked, which is pretty nice. Get rid of the drones. Does anyone like the drones? There's a nice nod to War of the Worlds here on the back of that box, which is pretty fun. So this is another entrance down to the basement there, and you can see it's in this projector room again. So that room's actually pretty important because it lets you kind of access a lot of the later parts of the level if you really want to. I'm going to grab some med packs here because we're going to need those very imminently. So I love this bit. So you come into this room, it's like a cleaning closet, but you head into this vent here and you can look down here and you can see there's the room that pays homage to Mission Impossible. Now if you drop down in there you'll die instantly, but if you have a pipe bomb or any kind of explosive weapon you can kind of clear it. Now here's the thing, if you drop to the floor in here it sets off an alarm and the room floods with enemies. So what we're going to do, we're going to use that jetpack we got earlier on and we're just going to avoid that completely. I'm going to hit this button here and we can escape this room. Now you'll notice I've not touched the floor, and that's by design. Oof. That nearly was a bit messy. If I'd fired that there, I definitely would have died. So jump over here. This unlocks this door here, so you can see the pig cop there waiting to get us. So I'm actually going to trigger this now. So the idea is that when you trigger this, normally, you can see there's a whole bunch of enemies there. You normally wouldn't be able to come out here. So if you don't have the jetpack, you will end up having to fight all those in this very tight space. It is quite difficult, especially if you don't have much health. But again, I love the attention to detail in this room. I just love how it sort of pays homage and it takes the time to sort of really appreciate what the Mission Impossible movie actually managed to achieve. Because you have to understand, back in the day, that was a massive reference, and that reference was made everywhere. I also like this reference here. So this is one of those transit pods from the second episode. I do kind of like it when you get to see these kind of things like half built here. So it's clear that like this is just showing you that it's not finished, but they are sort of showing you where it would have gone had they had time to finish it. And again, because this is all in a secret area, like, this isn't actually something a lot of people will come and see, so it's pretty nice to be able to come and look here at the detail put in here, because there's quite a lot of detail here. So the door sequence that we were going through before we came in here is actually from a 1960s TV show called Get Smart, and the telephone with Uncle written on it there was actually from The Man Called Uncle. So there's a lot of spy nods and Easter eggs for fans of that genre to really dig into. So if you're into your James Bond or your spy genre, this level is completely up your street. So we've got to be careful here because we've got to make sure that we don't you know, die. Now, funnily enough, this is the first time we actually get to see this enemy in the PC version. Now, it's funny because we've been doing the N64 versions of these levels, these guys have been turning up on some of the Lunar Apocalypse levels and Shrapnel City levels, but it doesn't actually turn up in the PC version of Duke Nukem 3D until we get to the birth. So, yep, we'll be seeing a lot more of them moving forward. But yeah, I really like this level. I think it's very well designed, and I think that all the nods and references are well done, in my opinion. There's obviously a lot of care that's been put into this one, and it's clear that the people that made this level really had a love for the genre that they were trying to sort of portray. And I really like that, and it comes through in the level. The level itself is actually really fun. It's really nice to navigate. It's not too difficult to find your way. You can't really get lost, in my opinion. But we're not quite done with this level yet, because there are quite a few more secrets to talk about. So if we head over here, you can actually see that the news broadcast that we were looking at earlier is actually in a big massive room like this. So it's actually not an image, it's actually a fully created scene that's playing out in real time, which is pretty interesting if you ask me. That's actually pretty fun, I'm not even gonna lie. And yes, she's here, and we can't kill her, unfortunately. She is unfortunately unkillable. But it's just fun that this is even here, and there's a little message from the level editor. But there's a second room here that if you want to come visit, you can. So this is that your mission, destroy. It's actually like its own little room here. And again, if you look on the wall behind us, there's actually another message from the dev saying, come on, quit cheating. But still, there's two more things that we're going to have a look at. So, way out here, way out here, if you no-clip over here and make it successfully, you can actually come into this little crate. Now, I have no idea what RSP2 Duval magic actually means, but I'm sure it's a reference to something. It's pretty interesting that it's there. And the final one's actually in the kitchen, in that water system. If you use the no clip to come in here, you'll get a message from the dev on the inside of this wall here, asking, are you small or are you cheating? Let me know what you think of this level and all of the references in it. Do you like this level? Do you hate it? And thank you so much for watching.